Oh man, this is bad indeed. When I saw that, I am getting so tired and sick of this, guys. It's not looking too great. It's not looking too great for our Spurs.
I want some rest. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so I got good news and bad news. If the chat was here right now, I would ask which one you want to hear first, but I'll just choose for you. So let's see here. We'll start with the bad news, okay? We'll start with the bad news. The bad news is it's starting to look a little bit more likely that the San Antonio Spurs will not have three first round picks. We already knew that the Spurs probably wouldn't have three. We thought, well, maybe they'll have two. It's starting to look more and more that we're just going to have one. We're just going to have our pick to bank on, okay? Now, that is the bad news, all right? But the good news is the 2024 draft is not going to be as strong as the 2025 draft. So there's that. So as far as it not conveying this year, it is fine. We could get plenty of picks next season, but as it stands right now, this is not great. This is not Gucci. And I'm starting to be even more convinced, though, to be real with you guys, that the Charlotte Hornets pick probably will never convey. Like, it won't convey first round picks. I think it will probably more than likely go into the second round picks. Or we'll get a second rounder or out of it. Whatever that might look like. So very, very frustrating there. But let's see here. So stars players injury update is terrible news for the San Antonio Spurs. That is absolutely true. They're talking about Lamelo Ball. So Lamelo Ball has declared out for the rest of the season. I'm sure you guys have heard that already. And while the Spurs have done a phenomenal job in acquiring so many first round picks and other teams' picks, unfortunately, it's not looking too hot as far as these conveying. So let's see here. Let's see what they say. Lamelo Ball to miss the rest of the season with ankle injury. It was announced this morning, this was a few days ago, that the Charlotte Hornets star Lamelo Ball will miss the rest of the season while he recovers from his ankle injury. So a lot of Spurs fans that actually wanted Lamelo, I don't want him. I think that he would fit perfectly with us, but he's injury prone. All right, it's very similar to like Ja Morant. I would love to have Ja, but then again, on the other end, it's like he is injury prone. So let's see. So it says, what does this mean for the Spurs? San Antonio sits at the bottom of the league with the third worst record, only above Detroit Pistons and the Washington Wizards, and the Hornets only have one more win than the San Antonio Spurs. It is now neck and neck race to the end of the season, and sometimes you begin to see teams intentionally losing to benefit their odds in the draft lottery. The Spurs are in a three-way tie with Detroit and the Washington Wizards for the top odds to land the number one overall pick in 2024 NBA draft at 14%. I've seen quite a few fans just call for Wemby to just sit. I don't think the Spurs are going to do that. I think they're going to continue to attempt to win, just play their odds. You already got your guy. This isn't one of those drafts where like the number one, number two overall pick, like the talent gap is just monumental, right? It's not like it's Wemby and then it's everybody else. It's not one of those drafts. It's one of those drafts where there's a lot of talent, but the skill gap isn't that far off, right? You have a legitimate shot of getting Matez Buzelis. You have a legitimate shot of getting Ron Holland. And to me, as far as potential wise, I don't think those two are that like too far off. But that's just me. And that opinion might change as time goes on and we start really going in on all the draft picks before the draft. We'll be doing that soon, like once the season's over. But anyway, it says based on this draft or graph, Charlotte is in the Spurs rear view mirror with the odds of landing the first pick at 12.5%, with both of these teams having nothing to play for but lottery odds. It could be possible that Charlotte begins to rest some of their other significant players like Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, and Trey Mann in an effort to jump the Spurs in the race and propel their odds to the maximum of 14%. Wow. Okay. So I actually did not, when I saw this first, because I did not read this article. We're reading it for the first time. When I first saw this article, I thought that they were thinking what I was thinking, which is we're never getting this pick. like I want the Charlotte Hornets pick so bad, but and we weren't going to get it this season, but they just been so bad, dude. And that's what I'm thinking, that we won't, their picks won't convey. And they'll turn it to second rounders. That's what I was thinking this was going. But no, they're saying they could jump in front of us as far as like, their odds of winning. I'm not really worried about them. I don't really care about that. But moving on. For this draft in particular, I don't care. San Antonio has 9 games remaining with the opponent's average win percentage of 54%. And the Hornets have 10 games remaining with that was my dryer. I really apologize. I'm not going to edit that out. I like the authenticity, okay? It is safe to say it will be no easy task to pick up wins in the closing stretch, which will benefit both teams' odds in the lottery. The San Antonio Spurs have to play a game of chess while many across the league play checkers. After picking up back-to-back wins over the Suns and Jazz, you have to wonder how much winning would benefit this team, which nothing... Okay, I'm going to say this. Now, I am taking the approach of the Spurs fans of last season, okay? Or the minority of Spurs fans last season. There was a minority of Spurs fans that said it is much more beneficial for the Spurs to attempt to win games last season for some type of like integrity reason, right? Like some type of like artificial, this will benefit the team in the long run because you want to try to be winner. There it is again. It's over. It's over. But yeah, like, if you win, it's all about having heart. You got to have heart. I did not care about any of that. I didn't believe that team next season will bring us anywhere. I still hold to the fact that there's a couple of guys on that squad that I think will stick with us. Everyone else, who knows for the future. We need our guy. And I was watching Wemby for the past couple seasons, and I was like, this guy is going to be ridiculous. We have to get him. I don't care about this whole, we'll worry about our integrity later. Well, I think now is actually the time to worry about your integrity. While we're in the middle of a rebuild, and obviously getting top picks is great, and that's wonderful. The Spurs have lost so much this season, and they're still learning how to win. Wemby is still learning how to win. And I do think that Vassell, Sohan, and Wemby are going to be really key components to this future and this thing that we're trying to do, that it's essential for them to learn how to win now. So I do not think that now is the time to tank and just lose games on purpose. You already going to have a great draft position. The draft already doesn't have like this one guy and everyone else is just left behind. There's a lot of talent. The talent gaps aren't that far off. I'm not tripping about it that much, honestly. 2025 is one where I'm really excited about, but right now, 2024, at least the vibes I'm getting, it's not that crucial for the Spurs to get a number 1 overall pick. They don't. If we get it, that's dope, but we don't. It's not essential, right? So that's all I have to say about that. So I would not think that the Spurs should start trying to lose on purpose or anything like that. Don't. We lost too many games. You're starting to get, a little bit more chemistry. Just ride that wave, man. I think that's much more beneficial for us for future wise than anything else. You got plenty of picks in the future. You got plenty of cap space. You can move so many pieces. You have some tradable pieces on this team that you can move. Don't trip about it. Try to win, do your job. Don't think about anything else. I didn't feel that way last season. But we're on step 2 now, okay? We don't have to take a step back. We can at least attempt to win now. Anyways, winning more games down the stretch may increase the attractiveness of San Antonio to potential free agents in the offseason, but that possibility has to be balanced with an attempt to get best draft position available. I don't think Spurs winning games down the stretch will have free agents. I feel like free agents will be excited to play with Wemby regardless. Like, they know they're part of something. Like, I don't think winning the last few games mean anything. Also, I would assume free agents would see that as, well, obviously you're winning the last few games. There's going to be quite a few teams that's just going to sit players, right? Actually, if we look at the Spurs here, if we type in Spurs here. I got to type in Spurs. That's so stupid. All right, here we go. And we look at what's left. So this is being recorded before the Knicks game, before the Warriors and the Knicks game, because I won't see you guys. I'll probably go live on Tuesday, so this is before all that. But if we're looking at everything here, let's see. The Warriors definitely aren't sitting. Nuggets, I don't know. You know, they might take a load off, right? Pelicans, I don't know where the Pelicans sitting right now. Let's look at the standings. Pelicans are 5. Okay, it's pretty crucial for them. Yeah, it's pretty crucial for them. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they'll do. Here, just go back. Let's go back to games. You got the 76ers. They'll more than likely compete. Grizzlies. I still can't believe we lost that last game. You got the Thunder. Hopefully I catch that game. I'll be out of town for that game. Thunder will probably sit their players depending on how things are standing, like if they're locked in where they are. Same thing with the Nuggets. And then the Pistons, Spurs should end on a W. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it really matters. Free agents could very well see the last stretch as you didn't have that much competition, and then on top of it, you had a couple teams that sat guys. I don't know. I don't think it matters as much as I get to play with Wemby. Like, people have been talking so highly, and we've been in the media circuit the entire season, regardless of the losing, right? Like, obviously, if we were winning more, we would be even more. So in the swing of things, but yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Those are my thoughts there. This is unfortunate. I feel like the more he's hurt, the worse it is for us, because it's just conveying into next season. And I don't know if the Charlotte Hornets are going to be better next season. I don't know what he'll look like next season. I don't know if he'll be ready to go next season. It's just so frustrating. So I'm kind of giving up on the Charlotte Hornets pick, to be real. It'd be nice if the Spurs were to like package that pick with something else and a sucker takes it. I have no idea, but we'll see. Anyways, I will give it to you guys later, man. Until next time, bye.